I don't know about you, but sometimes there are teams that you root for and you're initially rooting for as a sign of sympathy. Kind of like making a wish foundation. And then sometimes you'd be like, you're better than you are, right? That motivational expression where it's like, you are stronger than you believe you are. You can do it. And sometimes you're the Cleveland Browns, and no amount of motivation can fix whatever's happening with you. And very much like Chicago, as a die-hard Buccaneer fan, Chicago and Cleveland, I have a soft spot in my heart for you guys every single year. Kind of like a distant cousin, where it's like, he's not technically family, but I will still call him my cousin. I will still call him family. I will still root for him. I won't give him my kidney. So, hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We are almost at the end of the AFC North 2026 draft recap, and we're going to Cleveland, Ohio! As the time is recording, we already know that Myles Garrett's gone. Yeah. Still have the bobblehead up there. Yeah. Now I gotta paint it blue and yellow to be the Rams. That's fine. And it happened after the draft, and I mean, it's not like you can replace them, but let's talk about the Browns. Okay, Cleveland, the sun is setting. The season has begun. And what I can't help but understand is Deshaun Watson is projected to be the day one starter quarterback. I mean, I can't say what's the worst thing that could happen. I think for Cleveland fans, I don't think it's going to happen, even though I am a fan. If Baker Mayfield wins Super Bowl this year, like a Sam Darnold thing where he leads the Bucs to a Super Bowl championship, then I think Cleveland will burn the stadium to the ground. Don't think it's going to happen. I wanted to, but then again, how many of us thought that Sam Darnold was going to help Seattle lead to a Super Bowl? We all didn't think of it. We just thought they'll at least have a good season. Not saying it's going to happen for Baker. I'm just saying that'll be the ultimate, stab in the heart. You are too late. For Cleveland fans everywhere, if Baker wins a trophy. Just saying. But before we knew about Myles Garrett's future and the decision that Cleveland made, they kind of had to, not fix last year's draft, but keep moving forward. Because last year's draft, it moved the needle back. And the only thing we're going to say is that Myles Garrett broke the sack record for a losing 5-win team. Man, not the good thing to say. But you made the choices, you made decisions, and, well, basically whoever the quarterback is, you got to protect him. So, with the 9th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns selected Spencer Fontenot, offensive tackle, Utah. Congratulations, you got yourself a potential investment for the future in the offensive line. Congrats, you needed to address it. I think nobody was going to criticize too much if it wasn't Fontenot. I think everyone was thinking, we don't know who quarterback is. We just know we need to protect him. And sometime from themselves. So interventions be damned. They were going to address the offensive line, especially at tackle. Fontenot was the perfect candidate for it. People thought maybe Francis from Miami. I felt like it was going to be an offensive tackle regardless of, unless they like really, really reach for like Max from Arizona State. Then I'd be like, okay, you're screeching Cleveland. What are you smoking? Please pass it over here. But other than that, good acquisition. Definitely needed to it. Not, I don't see a Cleveland Brown faithful is gonna be like, that was a dumb pick. No, 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 no. I don't think they'll think of that, because I think even themselves have no idea who the quarterback is. Even though some be like, I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. Let's tank for more. Let's tank for Manning. Let's tank, tank, tank. Again. Then we go, still in the first round, with the 24th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns selected Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M. Now, KC, I look at him as not Deshaun Jackson, but kind of like a combination of a Deshaun Jackson with his quick, interchangeable speeds, but also that possession like a Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker type of guy, where don't let his small stature, he can still burn you and gets open space. Like I said, he is more valuable than his attributes dictate. And he was very confident in his combine, saying he was the best receiver in the draft. So, he's going to Cleveland, so he will definitely have a hard time to keep that, testimonial working in Cleveland, but you never know. But I feel like whether it's Sanders, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Watson, KC to thrive, he will have to do a lot of his own, catch the ball in space and make plays himself. Maybe hope for a new quarterback next year. But I feel like Casey is one of those athletes that if he backs up what he says, then the position of the quarterback cannot hinder his progression, cannot hinder it. Casey could be a steal for Cleveland, but then again, so was Coleman from Baylor. I'm sure some Browns remember that guy. But he's not alone. The player that I feel like should have been picked up before him in the second round, funny enough, with the 39th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington. This is the guy that I feel is the receiver. He is the receiver. This is the guy that will be the number one wide receiver. This guy's going to have his Brian Thomas, Emeka Ibuka type rookie season. He is going to come in and look like a veteran early. Hopefully he doesn't have a letdown later, but Denzel Boston is going to be the guy where if he is having like an 800-yard season and 6 touchdowns and 60 plus receptions, I'd be like, do not be surprised, because I was very high on Denzel Boston. I was very high on him, and I was very praised on him, and I'm probably foreshadowing what I'm going to say at the end of this video, but still, Denzel Boston is the guy, and for Cleveland to get him, I'm telling you, Cleveland probably became more of a competitive offense in the passing attack. Just hope the quarterback matches that. But Denzel Boston, he is the receiver I'm most excited about than KC. Then we go, still in the second round, with the 58th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns selected Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety, Toledo. That's a mouthful. 6'3", 200 pounds. Lean, mean, fighting machine. Top 3 in the position. He is the 21st overall position, and he got picked up at the 58th. Yeah, this is a case of maybe it was Toledo, maybe it was something, or maybe whatever. This guy probably is a first-round pick that just happened to fall because of reasons. It happens. Some teams that you will probably be a top 32 overall pick player, but some teams don't need a safety, and some are not willing to make the risk. But him falling to Cleveland, this is all done with the impression that Myles Garrett was still going to be a Brown. Now he's not. I feel like the Emmanuel pickup becomes more valuable, because without the tenacity pass rush of Myles Garrett one-man army, the secondary might have to do more. And I feel like Emmanuel is one of those players where I feel like if he's being thrust to do more, he will not hinder it. He'll have his learning ups and downs like every rookie does. But do not be surprised if like another guy named Emmanuel, played safety, does well. So this one is another one where I'm like, man, Cleveland, these picks feels like you're competent. Feels like you know what you're doing. I'm not giving you no credit though, because then you get big headed and then you get egotistical and then it becomes a problem. So I'm just gonna say, good job. Good job, let's keep going. I think this is another solid pickup for the Browns. Especially now that Myles Garrett is gone. Then we go to the third round with the 86th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns selected Austin Barber, offensive tackle, Florida. He is 6'7". 6'7". 6'7". 6'7", 6'7". He thought I was not going to do it. I'm not that old. But besides that, offensive tackle, I mean, are they Fondo, I think he was later who's viewed as the left tackle. Yes, and yep, they do have Austin Barber as the right tackle behind Titus Howard. So not really day one starter, but I really felt like they literally got the two potential starting offensive tackles for the next 10 years in this draft class. Barber's a little raw on the edges, but his intangibles are there. Doesn't be thrust into it. But do not be surprised if he gets involved. Heck, do not be surprised to see Austin Barber as the extra tackle on short yards or goal line situation. So I feel like Cleveland this is another solid pick. This is another solid evaluation. I really like this guy. I really like what they're doing with this. So we'll see how quickly he gets involved. But I think the cool thing about it is that he's not being thrust in to be a starter. But I do believe he'll be a starter. And God forbid injuries, he could be starting this year. We'll see. If the season's lost and then they just gave up on it, maybe they will. Anyway, let me take a break. We go to the 5th round. With the 146th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns selected Parker Brailsford, center, Bama, not corner. That would be a very, very interesting corner, for a 6'2", 289-pound corner. He is a center. Now, are they going to keep him at center or are they going to move him to guard? Take a quick look here. No, they currently have him as the backup center to Elton Jenkins. So that's fine. That's fine. Evaluation for the future. Development there. Cool. This gentleman is the 6th best center. Like I said, if you're top 10 in your position rank, that counts for something. He played in the SEC. He started 27 games for Alabama. So, very promising. He was at Washington before, so he's viewed as undersized. 6'2", is probably considered undersized for a center. Usually probably 6'3". I do believe the center are still viewed as probably the smaller of the offensive linemen, but that's like 6'3", 6'4". Still your smallest one. But, yeah. He went from one school to another, developed well, played 27 games, started 27 games. Take that credit as he is top 10 in his position. Raw potential, greatness. We'll see what he does in preseason. He'll get a lot of playing time for obvious reasons, but good acquisition, if nothing else, for the future. Then we go to 3 picks later, still in the 5th round, with the 149th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns selected Justin Jefferson, linebacker, Alabama. I am not doing the joke. I've seen the joke all over the internet. As much of a copycat I am, I'm not that kind of copycat. Even though I did double check. Linebacker, Alabama. 6 foot, 223. Did he play safety and he moved to linebacker? He finished he's the second leading tackle at Alabama. Physical, lacks length overall, so a lot of his intangibles is physical, his weight, his height. So probably will make his mark on special teams. Solid tackler. Maybe gets involved in the depth, but in a 3-4 defense. No, pardon me, it's a 4-3 defense, pardon me. And we all know that Jared Verse is now a Cleveland Brown too, so still, I mean, no disrespect to Jared Verse, but Myles Garrett absent and putting you in is still kind of a gap away. just the fact that both are starters is the big contributing factor. Still stand by the Emmanuel pickup, though. Still stand by the Emmanuel pickup. Let's see. They currently have Justin Jefferson behind Quincy Williams at the strong side linebacker position, who was reaching age 29 this year from Murray State. He's a third-round pick out of Jacksonville. So your competition level is not high, but you do have you struggle with a passing attack, and you're kind of undersized. So for those of you who know how old you are, yeah, anybody remember a Florida State linebacker named Buster Davis? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Buster Davis was an under 6 foot, like 5'11", 245-pound linebacker who played for the Lions and I think the Bears. Didn't really make a lot of splash, but he did make it to the NFL. I think he made it as an undrafted free agent. But the fact that he was a 5'11", 245, 250-pound linebacker and a name like Buster Davis, I just feel like that's what I'm getting vibe for this Justin Jefferson. Buster Davis vibes. Hopefully, at least he got drafted. Now we go still in the 5th round with the 170th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns selected Joe Royer, tight end, Cincinnati. We all know that Njoku left. He actually left and was a free agent for a long time. He's now with the Chargers. Lucky Dog is actually playing with a contender team. Even though Njoku felt like he was an A-list wonder. It felt like he still played at a high level and he was one of my favorite tight ends out there. And that was before he was my favorite in Miami, the Hurricanes. So, yeah, seeing him go there. Now, they have Joe. So, right now, Harold Fenton Jr. and Jack Stoll are your starting 2 tight ends. Joe is viewed as the 3rd stringer behind it. Looking at his overall intangibles here, 6'5", 247. He is top 10 in his position. He's the 9th best tight end in his class. So, 6'5", 247, dropped 20 pounds. He's a thick receiver. My guess is he is there to be that guy. He is their deep threat in the middle, high 50-50 ball type player. That's what I believe he is going to be. So to me, that is probably why they have him there. His intangibles as being a receiving threat is more valuable than him being a blocking threat. So that's where I feel like he will be utilized by the Cleveland Browns. Good pickup if utilized right. I have 2 more picks in the 6th round. With the 182nd overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns selected Taylon Green, quarterback, Arkansas. Your quarterback room is kind of full. But I am telling you right now, the Bucks picked up Jalen Daniels, the quarterback from Kansas, and he is doing. He's getting positive feedback and positive thoughts in the training camp and the OTAs. That I'm kind of excited to see what he does in preseason for the Bucks, even though he's an undrafted free agent. I'm getting the same thing with Green. The quarterback is full, even before Green showed up. Sanders, Dillon, Watson. He's 6'6", 227, still raw. He's athletic. He played in Arkansas, and he only can do what he can do with Arkansas. He's ranked 6th as the 6th best quarterback in his draft class. That's something. I'm hoping he gets an opportunity, a fair shake. But with the quarterback situation in Cleveland, that even if he is, 100% accurate in all his throws at practice or camp and drills, he will still be underlooked because Dillon, Sanders, and Watson have had so much investment put on them that even if Green shows out in preseason, I still feel like the best hope for him is 3rd string. But there's too much investment in the quarterback ahead of him that I'm hoping that Green takes this, develop, and learn. Because if things go south or things go away, Green might be in a perfect position to fight for the starting job in 2027, sorry. Yeah, I'm being sincere. I'm being serious in that. So right now, let's just hope and pray he develops. Because really, he has nothing to lose. He doesn't have the pressure like Dillon or Saunders or Watson. And the raw and the potential should be exciting for all Cleveland fans and the coaching staff. Then we conclude in the 7th round with a 248th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns select Carson Ryan, tight end, BYU. We're getting another tight end. Okay, guys. I understand Njoku was such a valuable asset to us, but doubling up on the tight end, I can't help but feel like, is Carson meant to be the more blocking tight end for the future? While Joe we got is more of the receiving threat tight end for the future. This just feels that, yeah, this just feels like he's meant to be a pass catcher. They're criticizing the size and speed. He does a good job finding green grass as a blocker. He does a good job securing running lanes and playing leverage. However, Ryan's not a super powerful player who can sustain long-term blocking. So he's a project player, meant to be more of a blocker, but can still catch, but not as highly valuable as a receiving threat as probably Joe, the guy they got from Cincinnati. But hey, Njoku's gone. You have a whole new tight end pool. Kind of open season in the tight end market. So Carson, do your stuff, and more than likely you'll get more chances in preseason to prove your worth. So take your time, develop, learn, don't feel the pressure. And that is the Cleveland Browns. The player I'm most excited about is Denzel Boston. I am more excited about him. I really feel like when Cleveland got him, they got a gem. They got a star. They got a crystal gem. We all do save the day. Even though Cleveland sucks, they'll always find a way. Whatever, how that song goes, melodies. I haven't watched Steven Universe forever. But he's the one that I feel like will be more of a receiving factor than Casey. Casey might have more big plays, but Denzel will be your most consistent receiver in the rookie class. I really believe that. And I think him going to Cleveland is the perfect fit. It's just slightly under the cover of, you don't know who I am, to, oh yeah, you are good, and now you're going to prove it. Like I said, Brian Thomas vibes right now. He's going to blow up in his rookie year, and people are going to be wondering, wow, Mecca Buka, wow, just come in the first few months, the first few weeks, and be like, this guy's a rookie? He's playing like a 3-year, 10-year veteran. Great for Cleveland. I'm not going to be that guy, but I have to at least acknowledge it. With Myles Garrett gone, this draft class has more pressure on him to be something. And I can't help but feel like even with the Verse pickup, Myles Garrett is still Myles Garrett. That's a hard pickup. Verse will pick a lot of slack. But Emmanuel in the safety, I think that's a good pickup. Justin Jefferson seems like a project in development. Cleveland, you weren't contenders, but I would say this draft class with the receiver, the safety, even Fontenot, your first overall pick, it's a better. This draft class makes the team much better. Better than 5 wins? I believe so. But you guys really have to address that quarterback situation, because for your offensive players, including your tackles and receivers, if you have not addressed that quarterback situation, it doesn't matter what happens. So, Cleveland, you're a better team. You're much better. At least you'll be more enjoyable to watch, even though Myles Garrett's gone. Thoughts and prayers. And that is Cleveland. Let's conclude this AFC North by staying in Ohio and going to Cincinnati. The Bengals will conclude the 2026 AFC North draft. Let's go to Cincy. How fun does that be? But until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.